Good evening, welcome along to the Utopia Suite here at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. I have three of the cast of Rock of Ages with me now. Hello!
Hello!
So, Rhiannon Chesterman.
Hello.
Luke.
Hello.
What's your surname?
Walsh.
Let's see, I've forgotten that bit. I normally have notes for this, don't I? And finally, we have Lucas.
Rush.
There we go. The bit that's confusing about this is, I mean, you two guys look a bit like your headshots.
Yeah.
Lucas looks absolutely nothing like his headshot. You can't see this. Come along, buy a programme, and look at it. And this is all part of the look for the show.
It's because the last couple of shows I've done, I've had either a giant Mohican or this tash, and I can't get headshots with looking like that. So
yeah.
I just have to use that one from 8 years ago.
But looking good, and you must be loving Rock of Ages.
Yes, I love it. Plus.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. I saw Press Night last night, and you were all phenomenal. And
thank you.
I have to admit, I wasn't sure quite what to expect with Rock of Ages. It's one of those shows which I suppose you're going to think you're going to love it because you love rock music, or you're just not because it's not your thing. But I think it's something there for everybody, isn't there?
Absolutely, it's hilarious.
We get a lot of people, like bringing their husbands along who are like, no, I hate musical theatre, and then they watch this and love it.
So, yeah. All looking good. Right, we are Facebook Live. We will be watching, so if you've got questions for the cast, do let us know.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so if anybody's got anything to ask. We've already been talking about the fact that you're not particularly good at quizzes. And
no.
So if you've got any quiz questions you'd like to ask them as well, then feel free and we'll see how it all goes. Okay. Right, so let's start off with an introduction to the characters. So, Rhiannon, tell us a bit about your role.
I play Regina. She's a human rights protester, and she's trying to protect against the gentrification of the Sunset Strip.
That wasn't scripted.
No.
Yeah,
You memorise that.
But she gets a really good fun part in the show, doesn't she?
She's a hippie, and she is so different to the rest of the characters, so I like to think that she's a bit light-hearted. I mean, it's all light-hearted, but she's a bit different.
And
right.
When you're checking with her, she definitely comes across as a bit different. But like everybody in the show, you get some amazing outfits.
Yes. Well, I don't want to give anything away.
This is the difficult bit because we can't give too much away, but
you should come along. Act 2, there's a specific number which has a surprise.
Okay.
A multicoloured surprise.
Yeah.
Lycra surprise.
Yeah. There's not much of a surprise left there.
Well, you don't know.
Until you see it.
Yeah, it could be an all-in-one, it could be very small, who knows?
Okay, I do. It's amazing whatever happened. Okay, Luke, tell us a bit about yourself in the show.
I play Drew, so he is a city boy born and raised in South Detroit. He's a aspiring rock star. He moves to LA to pursue his dream, and meets and falls in love with a girl. And
there's got to be a good love story, hasn't there?
Oh,
and I think there's several in this.
There's a few. Yeah, there's intertwining. There's several stories running alongside each other. With a couple love stories here and there. There's Regina's protest story running through it as well. But yeah, Sherry, who's the lead girl.
Yeah, your love interest.
Yes, the love interest. Her and Drew meet, and confusion and a misunderstanding ensues. And so their happy ending is called into question, and then the show tells that story, and we see how it turns out at the end.
You never know what's going to happen in any show.
At the same time, it's not complicated to follow. it's fun.
But I think there is an awful lot to watch throughout the whole show. You could watch 4 different shows within the show. There is so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk more about Drew in a bit. And now on to the narrator of the piece.
Yes.
You get some good stuff to do.
I do, yeah, I do. I get to interact with the audience quite a lot, which keeps it fresh for me. I remember saying back in rehearsals that I'm never going to really know my show until we do it in front of a live audience, because it's sort of like the audience is my leading lady. So because the response from the crowds is so great, it gives me a great energy to like work off.
That's very poetic.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, as Lonnie, again, there are lots of different bits to your character that we meet as we go through the show. I don't think that there's no specific bit where you could say how you can't pigeonhole him at all, can you?
No, he's just a bit of a nutter, really.
Are you happy doing that?
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, you're out of costume at the moment.
Yeah.
But you could easily be in costume at the moment because is this the look you're enjoying?
Yes, it is. I do tend to sort of mould my real life into whatever character I'm playing.
Yeah, because we already mentioned that the tash is there.
Yes, it's real.
You've got that whether you're on the high street or whether you're on stage, haven't you? So,
absolutely.
And you wouldn't want that tash dropping off halfway through a show.
You would not.
No, so that's the reason it's there. But I mean, the looks for all of you, we've already discussed a bit about your costume, haven't we? So there's a bit of a metamorphosis there. But for Drew, he goes through all sorts of changes.
He does. He's
and if I didn't know you were you, I wouldn't know you were the fella playing Drew on stage because because there's a difference to your personal appearance as opposed to the way you are when you're the character.
Got spiky hair.
Yeah, I do spike my hair.
I
don't know. I just don't want to. I'm trying to give my hair a rest because I have to put so much stuff in it. So that's why I don't do it during the day.
I'm sure I went through a spiky hair stage, and this can happen to you. So be careful.
Drew's got the classic double denim kind of thing going on,
and that did just suit you.
Well, thank you very much.
I quite like that.
Which I like a lot.
I like that one.
It's very similar. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but it's very similar to this look. Slightly different colours on the jacket. And then I end up with a big leather jacket at one point with tassels on it, which is awesome. And then another look, which I don't want to spoil for anyone who's coming to see it, but it's very, very different. Yeah. And not very rock and roll.
and this is Drew's journey.
What's that one?
When he's in them.
After I meet Jackie.
Oh yes.
Are you on for that bit?
I think it's really sexy.
Thank you.
Lovely.
It all suits him though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's clothes, isn't it? I guess.
Well, you actually keep yours on throughout the whole show.
I do, yes, sadly.
You prefer shows where
I try and make a point of being at least a bit naked, but
you get your arms out.
Yeah, you get your arms out.
You're impressed with the guns. That does the job. So, with obviously, I'm going to guess that looking at your ages, the 80s is something of a bit of a parents' thing rather than your thing.
Yeah, it's probably safe to say.
I'm closest to it, aren't I?
Yeah. Go on. How old are you?
34.
Yeah. So
I was born in 84.
Yeah, but so middle of the 80s, where this is set, is when you were born. So you don't really remember anything until the 90s. You grew up listening to Take That.
Well, Spice Girls.
Okay, we'll give you that, right? But when we look back, I mean, for everyone in the 80s, they were as far away from the Second World War as we are now from the 80s, and the changes that happened in that period are nowhere near as big as the changes that happen now. I mean, you didn't still have people in the charts in the 80s who would, probably maybe the Jive Bunny, the Master Mixer stuff that came out in the latter part of the 80s, but most of it wasn't really wartime songs, whereas now we still love the sound of the 80s, don't we? Particularly the rock.
Good point.
I suppose it's very specific. It's a sound that evolved from by accident in part, thanks to Phil Collins leaving I don't know if you know the story of the classic 80s snare drum.
Go on.
So Phil Collins left his vocal mic on while he was in a studio session. The drummer was messing around, and the compression and the reverb he had in his voice came through the mic, and they just fell in love with the sound, and then that became the sound of the snare drum for 80s rock from then on. But yeah, it's something that you don't get, and it's something that's kind of fallen out of fashion, is that sound and the ridiculous power of the guitar and the band and that feel of it with some amazing a lot of love songs and a lot of things that are very inappropriate to hear. You wouldn't hear it on the radio mostly, but some insane band names and crazy songs with crazy lyrics now. But it's something, that has fallen by the wayside, but it's so specific to that period of time. That's why people love it. It brings back memories, but it's also very visceral for people to listen to that kind of thing, because it's explicit. And also very heartwarming as well at the same time, with those kind of like rock ballads as well. Talking of explicit,
this is quite a raunchy show, isn't it, to be fair?
Quite a lot of skin on show.
Yeah, and it's good fun. I mean, I'm not sure what the audience advisory is on this, but it's
14 up.
It is purely all done in jest, everything's in the show. Yeah. But you'll get to know each other fairly well during this number, don't you? So is there any magic, any gossip we can talk about? Who gets on best?
I don't know. I don't think we can get gossip like that.
I'm not going to ask who doesn't get on, but...
Do you know, this is one of the loveliest casts I've ever been in, and no one is not friends, which is ironic. not ironic, which is unheard
Unusual.
of. Unusual.
Very
Like, yeah, that's the word. It was unusual because
especially being on tour, like
when-
you live in a bubble,
Yeah.
so you're living out of each other's pockets. Sorry, I've taken over. Carry on.
no, that's true. Normally on tour, because you're living together, you're working together, you're around each other all the time. But on this tour, everyone's friends.
But is there like a mum and a dad to the cast? Is there somebody who looks after you and answers questions?
No.
A mum and the dad.
Who would we put as? Who would we have?
I'd call Maria, our company manager's
Yeah.
fantastic. She's our mum.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's excellent.
We love
She's
Maria.
great.
I mean, although it's her job, she answers every question you have.
Yeah,
she's excellent.
whatever's there, she
And
can come up with.
Our dad, I guess I'd say Kevin Kennedy, but it's more of a toddler than a dad.
But going into it, we obviously see you as Curly Watts in Coronation Street.
Yeah.
You get to have a bit of fun around that as well in part of the show, because you couldn't not do that, could you? It had to be in the script. But can't he bloody well sing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's great.
It's
Absolutely.
absolutely
He's a rock
phenomenal.
star.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
So I hadn't expected that, and Drew, some of the notes that you have to hit in this, you've got such a powerful voice. I mean, you must be really pleased with your own performances and all this as well. Go on, let's put the pressure on you.
I'm very, generally just quite smug every day. Yeah. Thanks. That's what I say. No, yeah, it's great. It's great to be able to I'm going to use the term unleash some of that stuff, because I love the rock screams that you'll get to hear if you come see the show are really, really fun to do.
And they're really impressive.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's all very real.
Yeah, and it's
Oh, it is.
great fun. Yeah,
It's
all real.
It's all real. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's not mine.
None of it's.
No.
None of it's. I wish that would be so much easier. But no, it's all. It's everyone's singing all their stuff, which is awesome. And it's
Okay.
a testament to how talented the cast are as well.
It is, if not the most talented cast I've ever been in.
So, favourite songs from the show then?
Genuinely, like, I don't think I could choose one. I love Paradise. What's the actual title of the song? Just Like Paradise. What's it called?
Living in Paradise.
Living in Paradise.
I was going to get me programme.
And I also love Shadows of the Night. Is that what it's called?
Hard My Heart.
Hard My Heart.
You know the
I
tunes, but you don't know the
tunes, I what
title.
they're actually called.
Well, to be fair, that's the subtitle. So.
And also, who doesn't love Don't Stop Believing?
Yeah.
Like, I love that one too. And also Can't Fight This Feeling.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Hard My Heart is one of my faves. That is when Sherry and Justice are singing together, and Jodie and Zoe are rock stars, and it's such a cool song.
Could be longer though, right? We don't use like that much of it.
You want more?
A bit more of it.
Are you joking?
I think the whole show leaves you wanting more of everything.
Quite long.
Oh, I just like it so much. Just go on.
I love that. I love Hard My Heart. I also love When I Gotta Take It, because that's my song.
Okay, that's good. So, okay, Luke, come on.
My favourite song is Waiting for a Girl.
Okay.
Hands down. I don't do any of the screams that I enjoy doing, but it's one of my favourite songs from the 80s. It epitomises that style of music in that period in time. It's hard for me because it comes at a point in the show where I've been going for pretty much 25 minutes straight, and I just want to get a drink of water and take a breath. But it's really good fun to sing, and it's one of my favourite songs.
Yeah. Surely there are enough bottles of beer which probably have water in them that you could...
They don't, because that is bad for us, because if we spill it, it goes all over the stage.
Okay, so you're not allowed. It all has to be proper
Unfortunately
acting.
not, yeah, it's all proper acting.
Okay, so we talked a bit about the music. So there are lots of great songs in the show. So what I have here are some single covers from the songs in the show.
Oh, God, okay.
So what we want to do is we want you to guess which song this is from the show. So we'll put this front of the camera. So who would like to go first?
Me.
Okay, so Lucas, we're going to get a point for you.
Don't Stop Believing.
It is Don't Stop Believing. Congratulations. Next up, this is a nice easy one, I think. Let's take a little look at that one. Can you tell the song?
I should know that actually.
I should know it too.
Late 80s, probably 87.
I'm not going to know any of these. Just FYI.
There's only one of them in the show.
Okay, well, it is definitely in the show, and
Yeah.
you give us a clue. I think you get a few lines from this,
Right.
because it's what the city was built on.
Oh,
we
is it
built
Will Be
this
the
city.
On rock and roll. It is Starship, absolutely excellent. So,
Fantastic mullet. Can I?
do you want to take that to take to your barbers?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to try and recreate that tonight.
Okay,
that'd be good.
This one's nice and easy.
Okay, who's going to guess with this one? Right, Luke.
Hit me with your best shot.
It is, and wonderful. And that is an amazing song, isn't it? It must be a joy performing that one. No one wants the mullet on that one, do they? No. Okay, next is a Bon Jovi track. What Bon Jovi track do you have in the show? Luke's going to put him in the lead.
I believe Dead or Alive.
It is Dead or Alive. Yeah, fantastic. Nice. Next.
This
Foreigner.
I'm doing really well at this game.
Foreigner, is that...
You've got 1 point.
Have I?
I'm happy with one.
Is that Waiting for a Girl?
Embarrassment.
It is Waiting for a Girl. Luke is well in the lead now on 3 to everybody else who's 1.
Oh, I'm going to let you go.
I didn't know this once upon a time. Too easy. I don't know if you can see, but my t-shirt says Born to be Mild.
It is.
So
You're just going to not take any points.
Well, no, I'm just explaining that my t-shirt says Born to be Mild, so I'm just describing of what I'm like. I'm just pretending to be a rock star in the show.
It's the acting thing, isn't it? That's how it works. You're good at it.
Acting. So,
right. Okay, so we have Europe with the final countdown. Luke is getting a point there.
How many are there?
Not more anymore. It's just because you want the show to go on longer, so this quiz is built to match your show.
I did know these once upon a time for approximately 5 minutes.
Okay, so we have Slade.
Is that...
Simply having...
I was going to say we're not going to take it, but that's not right.
That's not
Slade.
Is that
Slade, though?
That's whether you can feel this. That's one of the words.
Come and feel the noise.
Come and feel the noise from Slade. So Lucas on 4. Luke on 4. Lucas on 3.
That's good memory. I've got the 1.
And this is the 1. Okay. Next, nearly there. So come on. You know this one, but you don't actually know this one.
We're not going to take it.
Is the correct answer. And then to the final one.
Don't we have quite a few?
We do, but there's one at the beginning of the show in particular.
And then this is the album cover off one particular one. So which one do you think this is?
I like his rings.
You're impressed with how that looks.
I'm gonna give a guess if.
Go on.
I'm gonna say Nothing But a Good Time.
It is not. So let's guess from somebody else, please. There's a flower in the title.
Is it what's in the title?
Flower.
A flower?
Oh, every rose has its thorn.
That is correct. So that puts you on 3. We have 3. We have 3, and we have.
I think I got 4. Didn't
4. So we have a winner, Luke. Well done. Absolutely brilliant fun in the show. Congratulations on that. So you've got. The run here at the Grand until Saturday, and you get to have great times with this show. So let's just have a favourite moment, or a favourite moment of costume, something that really stands out for you in the show. Apart from everything that Lucas wears, because obviously that's just his look now.
Can we include things that go wrong?
Go on. What is
this? Going to be rather than just a favourite moment in everything that happens, because we've done it so many times. Mm-hmm. The best part for us is when something goes awry. Okay. And last week, during Nothing But a Good Time, our fantastic guitarist Drew, who can shred his guitar like nobody's business, a string broke in the middle of the solo, and watching everyone's face on stage, going, "What's happening? What's the deal?" Was fantastic. So that was my favourite part of the last couple of months, probably. Okay.
I'm not in that one, so I missed it. I'm getting changed. What's my favourite moment? Sorry, I was listening to your story. I wasn't thinking.
I'll say mine.
Okay.
Mine is.
This is teamwork.
Singing with Kevin Kennedy and trying not to get the giggles every night. Because it just takes one of us.
This is the duet.
To have well, not just the duet. Actually, any time I'm on stage with him, if one of us has a little twinkle in our eyes that we're going to go, we're going to start laughing, then that's it. We're done. One of us goes, and then we can't sing the rest. How many times do we just?
Too many.
At the end of it's mostly in our number. We just laugh for the whole last bit of the song.
But I think that was one of the most powerful songs in the show, though. Don't you?
Yes, I think so.
I love that. Well, there we go.
Moment.
Yeah, which is good. So have you thought about it?
Yeah. So my favourite moment is probably "Hit Me with Your Best Shot," which has the surprise in it, which I can't tell you about. You'll just have to come see it. That's my favourite one.
Okay.
Which I get to do with Andy Carthy, who is hilarious. He plays Franz, and we get to do it together.
Well, a brilliant cast, a fantastic show. I was generally absolutely stunned and loved it completely last night. Brilliant stuff. The fact they applied me cakes during the interval as well did help. But it was a really good show, high on sugar and high on the show. It's fantastic. You can come along and see Rock of Ages here at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre right the way through till the 1st of June. 01902 429212 is the box office number, or grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets online. Come and see these fabulous guys. Break a leg, break a string for the band. And we look forward to seeing you continuing your run through to Saturday. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.